The first thing you want to do in any document in 2025 is click on Format and then switch to pageless format, because who's printing? The next thing you're going to do is click File, New, and then from a template to choose a really good looking template as a starting point. I'm going to go with the employee onboarding template here. You can check the different sections if you want, then click Insert. And there we go, a solid start. One of the things that's going to come up often in this tutorial is using the @ symbol. By typing @ next to where I've got your manager's name here, you'll see a bunch of options come up here. We're going to start by using this option called variable. I'm going to give this variable a name. It's going to be called manager's name. Click create, and you can see I have a side panel now that lists any variables that might appear in the document. Now, why would you use this? Well, throughout this document, rather than just say your manager, I actually want to be able to update the name quickly for future people that might use this document. So I typed @ chose variable, and now I choose manager's name here again. Further down the doc, the manager is mentioned somewhere else. So I'm going to type @ choose variable and select manager's name. Now, if I update manager's name at the top here to Dean and just click away, all throughout the document, those other instances of the manager's name have also been updated. This could be useful for a ton of things, like if you've got a letter that mentions someone's name or a start date multiple times, or even a quarterly report where you need to add financial numbers every quarter. You can just quickly go and do it from the variables side panel. Let's use the @ symbol again, but this time for a feature called Smart Chips. So I type @ next to start date here. One of the things I can insert is the date, and I can choose any date on the calendar. So let's just choose next Thursday, click OK. And now it's this nicely presented date. I can even add a time if I want to and quickly change it. One bonus feature is the ability to click on that date and book meeting, and it will pop out a calendar invite that you can work on straight away. Another bonus that people don't realize is that if you click on a smart chip, you can go to the highlight color in the toolbar and change the color of that smart chip using a color from the picker. Further down this document, there's an area where the new starter is encouraged to write an email. Now, rather than just put the words in here and then have to copy and paste it into Gmail, I'm going to type, you guessed it, the @ symbol, and choose email draft. Now I can draft an email right here. I can even include variables. If I type the @ symbol, choose the variable, say I want the manager's name here, and that is then included in the email too. And I can even change the people that this is going to be sent to in advance. But once I'm ready, I'm one click away from previewing this in Gmail and then being able to send this draft. So let's imagine this person has been at the company for a while now and they need to draft their first quarterly sales report. With Gemini in Google Docs, you don't need to start with a blank page. Just click Help Me Write. I put my prompt in here and click Create, and Gemini gets to work. By the way, if you want to write prompts that get you better results with generative AI, go and check out the other video I made that I've linked in the description of this one. Okay, here's the example. I'm going to choose to insert like this, and it's looking good. Tip number 7 is to use tabs to organize your documents. This is a new feature in Google Docs. You'll see over on the left, I've got a document outline. This uses the headings to put all of this information together, but I think it's maybe a bit overwhelming. I actually just want this first tab to be an executive summary. So I'm going to click and highlight all of this other text, cut it from the page like this, add a new tab, and then paste it into this tab here so that it's nice and separated. And I can go through and create as many tabs for the different sections as I want, and it means everything stays nice and clear on each tab. Don't forget to rename your tabs by clicking the 3 dots, choosing rename, typing your new name. And if you want it to look a bit more visually interesting, you can mouse over and add an emoji here as well. For tip number 8, we're back to using the @ symbol again. I'm going to type the @ symbol, scroll down to building blocks. I'm not using an email draft this time though. I'm going to choose AI summary. And Gemini is going to write a summary of everything in the document and put it at the top of the doc there. And I can easily update it whenever I want to. Building blocks are really powerful because they save you a ton of time, but imagine that you've got a part of a document that you use everywhere. Well, what you can do is highlight anything in any document like this, right-click on it, and then choose Save as Custom Building Block. When you do that, it'll prompt you to provide a name. Let's call this block Sales Overview. Click Create. And now if I was in a new document and I wanted to add it, you guessed it, type the @ symbol, scroll down to Building Blocks, and then choose that building block you just created, Sales Overview, and there's the text that was in it. Now, it could have anything. By the way, if you love tips like this, I have a weekly newsletter called Workspace Boost where I send one immediately actionable tip every Wednesday. You can sign up at the link in the description. For our 10th tip, rather than populate this table with data directly in the document, I'm just going to delete it because there's a better way. Instead, I'm going to go to the spreadsheet where I already have this sales data from analyzing it myself, click and drag to highlight that whole table of data, or it could be a chart, go back to my document and paste it in to see this prompt. I can choose to link it to a spreadsheet or paste it unlinked. I link it to a spreadsheet, click paste, and there's that table. What that means is if these quarterly numbers need updating for next quarter, I can just go back into that spreadsheet, change one of these numbers, and when I go back to my document, it will prompt me to refresh this table. Click update, and now it's up to date. Super simple, and it means you're going to reduce the likelihood of an error in your data. By now, you probably know that you can collaborate in Google Docs, but are you getting your collaborators to suggest edits, or are they just leaving comments? So if I've been given collaborator access, but I don't want to make edits directly to the document, so long as I can at least comment, I can click in the top right here and switch my mode to suggesting. Now, if I highlight some text like this and make a change to it, it adds a kind of comment that shows the change so that the editor can then approve or decline. So if I see it as the editor like this, I can click over on the comment and just hit the check mark. This is a really nice way of collaborating that makes it easier for your coworker to make that change, but means that you can see exactly what's been changed as you go. And for tip number 12, once you have your quarterly report ready, you might need to get it signed off by your CEO. So you can go to File, click Approvals, and then make a request. Put in your CEO's email address, write a message if you want to. You can add a due date. Choose whether you want that person to be able to edit it or not. And I think it's critical that you lock the file before you send it. You don't want anyone to make a change now that it's been sent for approval and then send the request. If you haven't already, you'll be prompted to share it with that person. And now I'm being prompted to reload it because the document is locked. I can't make changes until it's been approved. Here's how it looks for the approver. They get an email, they click the link to open the doc, they can check through everything in the document that they want to see, and when they're ready, approve or reject. Hit approve, add a message if they want to, click approve, and you see we've got a timeline now of what that approval looks like, and everyone else who can edit the document can now see that this is the approved version. If you learned something in this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.